CTV News with Ricardo Veneza.
No deal, maybe no official extension as Mexico got, but I expect Canada and the United States will just continue to talk through midnight and into the coming days and weeks.
U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order tonight raising new tariffs on Canada and making good on his threat, but for how long remains an open question. Good evening. The latest executive order Trump has signed imposes tariffs on dozens of countries, of course, including Canada. The White House now hiking its import tax to 35% as of Friday. The increased tariffs are up from 25% on all products not covered by the U.S.-Mexico-Canada free trade deal. The White House says, wrongfully, the hike tariff is a result of Canada's inaction on fentanyl, as well as Canada's tariff retaliation. The move comes after Mexico reached a 90-day tariff deal from the U.S. And as CTV's Jeremy Sharon reports, it appears that type of deal is out of reach for Canada.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum announced today a 90-day extension to negotiate a new deal on tariffs. Canada doesn't have a deal yet, and there is no indication so far we'll get the same extension.
We haven't spoken to Canada today. He's called, and we'll see. But we have made a few deals today that are excellent deals for the country.
A similar agreement would, of course, help Canada, though. Experts have said the Carney government shouldn't be rushing to get a deal done, as the CUSMA deal already in place gives Canada a better starting point than most. And today, a sign of encouragement for Canada's aluminum sector. In the wake of Ford Motor Company reporting a substantial hit from tariffs, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told CNBC today that Ford relies heavily on aluminum, and Washington will take that into account at the negotiating table.
I believe that the Ford, F-150, 250, their big truck series is made out of aluminum instead of steel, which is different than other cars. So I think maybe the aluminum tariffs have hit them harder. We will be negotiating with Canada on those.
As it stands, Canada faces an increased tariff of 35% on goods not covered under CUSMA as of tomorrow. Now, most countries that have so far landed a tariff deal with Trump have faced a baseline lower tariff of 15% across the board. Some experts have suggested if Canada can get the same, but only on non-CUSMA products, it would be seen as a win. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
Premier Doug Ford responding tonight online saying Canada shouldn't settle for anything less than the right deal. Now is not the time to roll over. We need to stand our ground. And he went on to call for Ottawa to retaliate, saying the federal government needs to hit back with a 50% tariff on U.S. steel and aluminum, a sensitive topic, as you heard there. Now, that's in line with what Ford said earlier today, stressing Canada has its own leverage in the trade war.
We buy more products off the U.S. than Japan, Korea, China, the UK, and France combined. So I wouldn't roll over, and I've told the Prime Minister, do not roll over, hit that guy back as hard as we possibly can, and that's what we need to do. And we can do it. We can build anything here in Canada, absolutely anything.
The Premier adding, quote, "We're going to win this thing." And he also encouraged people to buy Canadian products where possible as the trade tensions continue. He also touched on the decision to rip up the Starlink deal. That, of course, is tied to Elon Musk, calling it an unfortunate necessity, but still did not reveal the cost of the cancellation fee. Also on the trade front, Donald Trump saying he doesn't like Canada's signal of intent to recognize a Palestinian state. Still ahead of reaction and what it could mean for trade and for geopolitics. In Windsor, workers at the Best Western Plus Hotel in downtown finally have a tentative contract. About 40 people who work in guest services, housekeeping and maintenance have been on strike since June 1st now. Unifor Local 195 President Emile Nabout told CTV sister station AM 800 News a ratification vote will be held Friday morning. Well, still on the labor file, Canada Post workers are wrapping up their voting on the national carrier's so-called final offer.
It's a direct assault on our union's right to represent our members and our collective bargaining rights.
President of Local 630 in Windsor, Tish Glenn, is encouraging the some 500 members to reject the offer. That's the line from the national side of things as well. The forced vote comes to an end tomorrow at 5. Glenn says the union is fighting to protect jobs she says are far from obsolete.
For some people, especially folks that, can't get out of their homes, they look forward to seeing a postal worker because sometimes that's the only interaction through the day that they have is us.
Chatham-Kent is responding to this week's court decision in the Rhonda Jubenville case. Legal Director Dave Taylor says a new report is coming from the Integrity Commissioner, and Council will have to vote again on whether Jubenville should face any penalty. Now, that comes after a judge tossed her 90-day suspension for comments made on social media, calling part of the original findings unreasonable. The municipality says it's now reviewing the ruling with outside legal counsel, and updates are still to come. Habitat for Humanity in Windsor, Essex is recruiting new volunteers as part of its inclusion in the Ontario Corps. As we told you earlier this month, the nonprofit is one of 13 agencies now tapped to unleash an army of volunteers in a moment of disaster. CTV's Michelle Molesky has that story.
I think Windsor leads the charge on a lot of things.
And now the Windsor Essex branch of Habitat for Humanity is leading the charge for Ontario Corps.
Hundreds of brave volunteers and professionals are going to be ready to serve as Ontario Corps, deployed from this very spot, the Provincial Emergency Operations Centre.
So we got funding from the government. A big part of it's for training and for recruitment of 50 volunteers and 6 team leads.
Habitat will train the volunteers to be ready to drop everything.
We could be deployed anywhere in the province.
Habitat CEO Fiona Coughlin says, for example, they might be tasked with sandbagging homes from floodwaters or saving them from the inside.
There was a water emergency at a northern community in Fort Hope, and one of the jobs at that time was simply pouring warm water into the toilets so that they didn't freeze over.
The local Habitat is also getting funding for a transport vehicle.
So we'd be able to transport volunteers, generators, pump equipment, fans.
When the snowstorm pummeled Gravenhurst this past winter, Ontario Corps volunteers provided more than 6,000 hours of support. Coughlin anticipates Windsorites will be ready to respond by November 1st.
We need people who are ready to dig in and help, ready to roll up their sleeves and pitch in, which is pretty much a regular Habitat volunteer.
In Windsor, Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Okay, back to the trade troubles. President Trump took aim at the Prime Minister's announcement yesterday, which we brought you, that Ottawa would recognize a Palestinian state with strings attached at the UN General Assembly coming up in September. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on the timing and the implications.
News Canada intends to recognize Palestinian statehood lands with hope on the streets of Gaza. This teacher thanks Canada and feels the world is beginning to wake up.
The level of human suffering in Gaza is intolerable, and it's rapidly deteriorating.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister posted this photo saying Canadian aid is beginning to enter Gaza and thanking Jordan for facilitating an airdrop. Fighting over what falls, Gazans say airdropped food is like a dog chasing a bone. The U.S.'s special envoy landed in Jerusalem, while the president mixed foreign policy and trade, posting in the middle of the night, Canada's decision will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, apostrophe, Canada.
This is just Trump trying to use yet another tactic to put pressure on Canada. And I'm frankly very proud that the Prime Minister and his government made that decision, even though I have no doubt somebody was telling them that this could impact the trade negotiations.
I think the government is putting the cart before the horse here.
The Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs is concerned the government didn't tie its conditions to the release of hostages or the immediate removal of Hamas, worried it will embolden the terrorist group.
Conceivably, we're going to have Canada recognize a Palestinian state where Gaza is still under the control of Hamas, and innocent Israelis are still being held hostages in the terror dungeons of Gaza.
CJA says there is increased fear and concern in the Canadian Jewish community in the wake of the government's decision, fear of even more anti-Jewish hate and attacks. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Our city committee is backing a deal that will see Transit Windsor service to the new Nexstar battery plant.
The approval of this agreement ensures that we'll be able to provide direct, nearly door-to-door service to those workers.
The deal would lease space near the plant for a bus stop, and it would cost about $1 a year for 3 years plus HST, hefty bill. The city could renew a 10-year lease thereafter. The agreement is part of plans to upgrade service out in the East End.
There will be the full construction of a bus bay and a turnaround loop that'll happen later on this year, and that'll be able to for us to be able to achieve the intended service target for the Twin Oaks Industrial Park.
A major facelift is in the works over at Roseland, and the city's looking for your thoughts on the new clubhouse.
We're getting a lot of residents coming out so far, and we're also seeing a lot of golfers. Busy golf course today.
The city is teeing up a new vision for the Roseland Golf Course Clubhouse with a one-story modern design and a focus on outdoor seating, quick bites, and post-round hangouts. An open house was held today, and a survey is available online through August 15th.
The golfers are excited to have a clubhouse. They're looking forward to having a place to dine before and after golf. So that's something they haven't had since COVID. And the community is looking for something new and fresh where they can visit. So they're really excited about the possibilities for the future as well.
Family Services Windsor Essex received a $35,000 boost from the Ontario Trillium Foundation today. The money is meant to help improve operational efficiency and help the group serve individuals. The agency is a charitable group with a mandate to help vulnerable people regain their footing and end the cycle of homelessness. Now, that includes services like counseling and individualized supports.
So we were able to purchase and establish QuickBooks as a way that we can better process our payments to our folks in our trusteeship program and in our adult protective services program, for that matter. So this grant helped us become a lot more efficient so that our frontline staff then have more time to be out in the community serving the folks we serve.
Windsor's Emancipation Celebration Monument Committee is looking to the public for help to commemorate the historic achievement. The committee is working with the city to find stories and photos highlighting Emancipation Day history in the Rose City. The submission deadline is set for October 1st. Emancipation Day, of course, marks the 1834 Slavery Abolition Act that came into effect across the British Empire on August 1st and celebrates the strength and perseverance of Black communities across Canada. In Windsor, efforts are underway to memorialize that history with a monument.
We've been working with the committee to identify an appropriate location within Jackson Park that would be within the footprint of where the original band shell and grandstand was in Jackson Park. So it's a great location that now we're going to get the opportunity to hear all the great feedback from the community and all their stories that will help to guide and develop the actual monument.
And it was earlier this month, the Black Council of Windsor Essex announced the return of the 3-day Emancipation Jubilee, which kicks off tomorrow over at the Caribbean Center. Well, after the break, Gary Archibald joins us with a look at the long weekend forecast.
People can't understand how important this outpatient center will be.
Still ahead, a look at the campaign helping to modernize care over at Windsor's Hotel de Grace Healthcare. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for a check of the forecast. Gary, it was a day of two halves. Started out with rain and then the sunshine took over, and it sounds like we've got more of one than the other on the way for tomorrow.
You're right. And I think most people, Ricardo, will appreciate the other being sunshine and even cooler than seasonal. Several degrees below seasonal. Can you imagine an overnight temperature down to about 12, in some places 11 degrees Celsius across parts of southern Ontario? Yeah. Our average high for this time of year, call it 28. Average low, call it 18. We only reached 23 degrees today for a high. Yes, indeed, rainy to start. It was this massive sweeping cold front. It has moved well to our east. Good riddance. We needed the rains, though, so we appreciate that. Nice clarity through the overnight. It should be a beautiful evening. You can open up the windows. It will be cool. I mean, down to 12 degrees Celsius in Chatham, Kent, and Windsor, Essex. That's before dawn tomorrow morning. And then it's just sunny and beautiful. Humidity is relatively low. We will see highs in the low 20s tomorrow. This is kind of temperature I love, personally. for what it's worth. Down to 12, clear and breezy. The winds out of the northeast, and it will be a windy start to tomorrow and through the afternoon. Sunshine abounds across southern Ontario. Ridge-high pressure is responsible, moving in right behind that cold front. Cold front issued obviously was leading edge of this cooler air mass. Air quality is still not great. That's the only caveat to the story. So, sunny and breezy tomorrow. Northeasterlies sustained at 30 with higher gusts, especially in the afternoon. But it's comfortable, high of 24. And look at this. After that, it's all about sunshine for the long weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that's what the sky feature will be mostly across the region. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s. We will not see 30s over the next 7 days. As of this juncture, that's what's projected. By Tuesday, we're looking at 28, and look at the lows in the mid to upper teens. We'll warm up a bit towards Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Some showers Wednesday, but again, the long weekend looks great. Enjoy it. High UV over the next several days. Use that sunscreen. But once again, comfort is the key, and we should take advantage of that. That's a look at your weather.
Okay, Gary, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to that. Well, Statistics Canada officials say the Canadian economy contracted for a second straight month in May, but there are signs of a rebound for June. Goods-producing sectors were blamed for the decline in May, mainly in mining, quarrying, oil, and gas. Manufacturing activity grew 0.7% in May, offsetting a drop of 1.8% in April when the U.S. tariffs took full effect. Now, officials say early estimates indicate GDP growing 0.1% in June, marginally, thanks to strength in retail and wholesale trade, but another decline in manufacturing is expected. Canada's main stock index finishing lower today on broad-based losses, down 110 points. The Dow dipping 330 points, while the Nasdaq slides just 7. The Canadian dollar also down today to rest at 72.23 cents U.S. Gold dipping, oil down as well, 74 cents a barrel. Hotel de Grace Healthcare is expanding its campus, and work is well underway to meet a target opening in the fall. The Hospital Foundation kicked off its campaign to fund that new facility on Wednesday. I stopped by for the launch and found out the project is being undertaken without any government funding.
Welcome to all of you who are here for the first time.
The new Imagine campaign, fundraising for a major transformation at Hotel de Grace Healthcare in Windsor, got off to a big money start on Wednesday. The Toldo Foundation donating $1.5 million toward an $8.3 million project to expand the hospital's rehab wing.
This outpatient program is really a game-changing opportunity for people who have come through perhaps catastrophic events.
The newly named Toldo Outpatient Rehabilitation Center is well under construction and will support over 15,000 patient visits the program sees every year. With new features like exercise equipment, walking track, direct patient drop-off, therapy rooms, and even a simulated kitchen and bathroom to help patients restore their motor movements and confidence at home. Something hospital head Bill Morris says is part of the core promise of Hotel Do, addressing rehabilitation and mental health.
This is the biggest and most significant rehab center of its kind in the region. Our catchment area will go as far as Chatham-Kent, but we have programs and services that bring people in from all over Ontario.
You always drive into this parking lot and you remember when. You know, even my husband and I had to take a little deep breath saying, whew, this was such a time. And people can't understand how important this outpatient center will be.
Paralympic champion Danielle Campo knows the rehab services all too well, receiving care for her surprise muscular dystrophy diagnosis at the hospital. Now chairing the campaign, she says the state-of-the-art center will mean the world to those on their own journey of recovery.
Everybody's journey is different, but the one thing is everybody just wants to be their best. It's that little extra push, that motivation you need on those tough days to say, you know what, I got this, and I'm going to this beautiful place to do this.
Mara is hopeful the doors to the center can open to provide services as soon as this fall.
The growth and demand for services is happening organically with an aging population, with more people seeking services, and the medical system being as busy as it is.
Well, the family of an Ontario man killed in Costa Rica while on vacation says he was shot during a home invasion. CTV's Allison Hurst reports.
Christopher Deere had just arrived in Costa Rica with his girlfriend when his family says he was killed a day later in a violent attempted robbery at their vacation rental.
Just coming out of a room and somebody shoots you because they're trying to rob you, and for what?
His family tells CTV News the 40-year-old was shot on July 11th near the coastal town of Tamarindo. A member of the Costa Rica Organism of Judiciary Investigation says in an email they cannot provide further details because the case is under investigation. Global Affairs says it is aware of the death of a Canadian citizen in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. We express our sincere condolences to the family and friends. Consular officials are in contact with local authorities to gather more information. Deere's brother says in a statement, Chris was a seeker driven by an insatiable curiosity about the deeper questions of life. He was passionate about philosophy and applied his studies to nurturing his relationships with vast people from all walks of life that he was involved with. And that he was very close to his family and friends. He had a great sense of humor and a smile that would light up a room. We are all in shock that such a loving and generous soul lost his life in such a tragic and senseless way. Deere was a life coach who was able to work remotely and had plans to stay in Costa Rica for up to 6 months. He was also a blue belt in jiu-jitsu with aspirations to earn his black belt.
If he, still was with us, he would for sure get that rank. He had the strength and the determination to go there, and he told me one day I want to become a black belt. So that's why it was important.
Greg King was Deere's coach, and he honored him in a ceremony yesterday, awarding him that black belt posthumously. His family and peers were there, and his medals and green kimono.
The green kimono is very particular. And I was like, it's like the army green. And we're like, why do you wear this? He's like, I don't know. I just like it. I was like, well, okay, if you like it, then good. We like it too. So everybody yesterday was laughing about that because it was like, oh, that's the kimono that everybody knew him to wear.
His family wants answers and justice, saying we are hoping to have closure in this tragedy and waiting to see if the OIJ in Costa Rica is able to protect and bring justice to Canadians visiting Costa Rica. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Pure Country 89, Windsor's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
The Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce is preparing to celebrate its 150th anniversary, but the trade war and economic pain it's causing are weighing heavily on the occasion.
It is not all sunshine, butterflies, and rainbows. There is layoffs happening in many different sectors, most notably the manufacturing sector.
The Chamber announced its celebration plans today, which include a networking and Spitz game doubleheader in October. The official birthday party itself is set for March 27th over at the Water's Edge Event Center in Windsor. And the commemorations also include a new display in Jackson Park.
It's a time of uncertainty. It's a time of not knowing what's going to be coming next. And any time that we can spend our dollars and spend them locally, that's what we're encouraging to do. And this is the same message we've been saying for 150 years at the Chamber of Commerce, and we will continue for the next 150 years.
Okay, Gary is back with a wrap of your 7-day forecast. And Gary, we've got a stretch of sunshine on the way.
You're right about that, Ricardo. Temperatures will be in the mid-20s the next couple of days. Sunny, a bit breezy tomorrow, but really comfortable and pleasant. Just lovely. This is a great setup. Perfect timing. Thank you, Mother Nature, for the long weekend. We'll see mostly sunny conditions Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. If we see any cloud, well, not until Wednesday. That's when we'll see the showers. But if we see any clouds over the next 5 days straight, they're of the fair weather variety. Temperatures up to about 28. That's the peak over the next 7 days. And that would be seasonal for this time of the year. Wherever you are, enjoy a good night's rest and enjoy your Friday. I give you permission to do so. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Okay, Gary, thank you for that. Well, finally for us tonight, Windsor's waterfront is, to many, the crown jewel of the city. But as our Bob Belichico shows us, some feel it needs a bit of polishing to truly shine, and he decided to see what people really want to see.
This, to me, is our Niagara Falls.
The Windsor riverfront is a draw for residents from near and far.
There's so much to see in Windsor. Yeah, Windsor has a lot of potential, I think, for sure.
Richard Burton enjoys visiting the city from London and riding the trail between the Ambassador Bridge and Walkerville, but like many, feels there could be more to offer visitors in that stretch.
I just think more places to stop and have a drink or, something to eat, burgers places, stuff like that. Anything just to bring the people down. See, it's so beautiful.
In fairness, there are places to stop for a beverage and a bite to eat, but options are limited to the stretch between Jeanette and McDougall. Now, Ronaldo Agostino asked the council question earlier this month, asking for a review on the food truck bylaws. The ultimate goal? To have some scattered in the downtown core and along the riverfront.
This would make a great space to have like a food truck village where maybe once or twice a week or maybe on weekends or maybe it's a fixed thing where people could come, different vendors from downtown could come and use pre-existing trucks that are here.
In other parts of the riverfront, Agostino says temporary solutions, possibly involving shipping containers, may work like he has seen in other cities.
Imagine having a shipping container that is, for example, a coffee shop, and then you have a couple shipping containers that are small market retailers that are available to anybody in the city to use.
Courtney Fisher has cycled the riverfront paths on both sides of the border, as have many others, and agrees there are improvements that could be made.
On the Detroit side, they have a lot of stations where if you run into trouble or you feel uncomfortable, you can call for help, like emergency buttons.
Fisher says attention to trail cleanliness is prevalent in Detroit, security is visible, and there's even a splash pad.
Even somewhere to grab water, or if you're walking your dog, more stops to have the dog water stations. Those are really helpful.
You could do games, you could do fun, you could do so many different things. A beach volleyball court down there would be fantastic.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Okay, some great ideas there. We'll see what actually gets enacted. That is our time tonight, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6 to kick off your long weekend. Until then, I'm Ricardo, Veneza, and for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.